A dusty village road. Slow zoom on an expensive black car pulling up. People whisper. Chris steps out in a suit. They said he would never make it, that he'd die poor in this village. 7 years later, he came back, and the whole village stopped to watch. The sound of an old, crackling radio filled the small mud brick house. "Goowow!" the commentator shouted. Omaka leaned back in his wooden chair, grinning from ear to ear. Football was his world, work, not so much. Beside him sat his first son, Doze, a stick in his mouth, a cup of palm wine in his hand. They laughed, argued about teams, and sipped as if the day had no end. Outside, under the burning sun, Chris, the younger son, was walking home from the farm. His shirt was drenched in sweat, and on his head was a basket of vegetables. His legs were tired, but his heart felt light. He stepped into the room and placed the basket down. "Papa, Doze, you could help me sometimes," he said gently. Omaka waved him off. "Work, work, work, that's all you think about. Life is short, enjoy it." Doze chuckled. "You're wasting your time on that stupid farm. You think hard work will make you rich?" Chris didn't reply. There was no point. Later that afternoon, Chris walked the dusty road back from the market when he saw it. A shiny black car pulled to the side. A man in a crisp white shirt stood beside it, looking worried. Chris walked over. "Good afternoon, sir. Is everything okay?" The man looked up. "My car broke down. I've asked 2 people for help. They told me they were busy." Chris smiled. "Don't worry, sir. I'll help you." He ran to the mechanic's shed, breathless, and came back with help. Within minutes, the engine was alive again. The man shook Chris's hand. "You have a good heart. My name is David Okoro. If you ever need anything, call me." Chris slipped the card into his pocket. That evening, the sky burned orange as Chris came home, stomach aching with hunger. He had cooked rice earlier before going to the farm, but when he lifted the lid, the pot was empty. His heart sank. "Papa, Doze, you ate all the food?" Doze laughed. "We were hungry. You couldn't leave even a little for me." Omaka grinned. "That's what happens when you waste your day in the sun. If you'd stayed with us, you'd have eaten too." Chris stood there in silence. Then he turned away before they could see the tears in his eyes. That night, the hunger was too much. He remembered the card in his pocket. He picked up his old phone and dialed the number. "Hello? Good evening, sir. This is Chris, the boy who helped you with your car earlier today." "Oh, Chris, how are you?" Chris hesitated. "Sir, I'm not calling for free money. I need a job. My father and brother, they laugh at me. They say no matter how hard I work, I'll always be poor in this village. But I don't believe that. I want to prove them wrong." There was a long pause. Then David said quietly, "Come to the city tomorrow. I'll help you." At sunrise, Chris packed his few clothes. His father looked up from the radio. "Where are you going?" "To the city," Chris said calmly. "To make something of my life." Doze smirked. "You? You'll be back in a week, broken, begging." Chris smiled faintly and walked away. The city was loud and fast. David gave him a small job as an assistant. It wasn't glamorous, fetching files, delivering letters, cleaning floors, but Chris never complained. At night, he read old business books David gave him. On weekends, he worked extra jobs, loading trucks, sweeping markets, anything to earn and save. There were nights he went to bed hungry. Mornings he walked miles to work to save bus fare. But every time he was tired, he told himself, "This is not forever." David noticed. One evening he called Chris in. "You remind me of myself," David said. "You work hard, you're respectful, and you don't give up. I'm promoting you," Chris almost cried. 5 years passed. Chris had learned the ropes of business. He saved every coin, invested wisely, and started his own small company. It wasn't easy. There were failures, betrayals, months when money ran low. But he never quit. By the 7th year, Chris owned a thriving business, employed dozens of people, and had offices in 2 cities. 7 years to the day after he left, a convoy of black cars rolled into Umwoma. The villagers stared. From the first car stepped Chris, tall, confident, wearing a fine suit. Omaka and Doze froze. "Chris, is that you?" his father asked quietly. "Yes, Papa," Chris said calmly. "The one you said would never make it. The one you laughed at." Doze's eyes filled with tears. "Brother, forgive us." Chris looked at them for a long moment. "I forgave you years ago, but remember this, hard work and kindness will take you further than laziness ever will. It's never too late to change." The village was silent. Then, slowly, they began to nod. That day, everyone learned a truth they would never forget. You don't need everyone to believe in you. Just believe in yourself. And never, ever give up. Hey everyone. Please subscribe to my channel, Official SD1, and help me grow. Stay tuned for more interesting and life-changing stories like these.